Hello everyone and welcome back to our community. If you're new, I'm Jen. I focus on all things health, wellness, self-care while living in New York City. Can you tell I've said this a million times? We are going to be talking about how to stay productive while avoiding burnout altogether, because I don't know if you've been there, but I actually recorded a podcast episode on this when I first got over burnout, right about after a year after fully being in this pandemic, working from home, committing to YouTube, starting a podcast, working full-time in PR, being at home 24/7, doing all of this. At a certain point, I got so burnt out. Right after I got over it, I recorded an episode on my Dare to Self-Care podcast on how I got past it, how I plan to move forward in staying productive while also avoiding that extreme burnout phase, because I'd rather be productive over time and never have to pause for this huge big break. So now that I've been putting these practices into my daily routines, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't work for me, I want to come to YouTube to share with you guys what does work for me and what you guys can do as well to stay productive and avoid burnout. So tip number one is every single hour you give your energy to something or someone else, give that same amount of time and energy to yourself. So if you just got on a 20-minute call, networking, helping someone else within their career path, let's say, go take a 20-minute walk. Now I understand that you can't always just like take an hour, take 20 minutes off of work. I get it. It doesn't have to be right away, but there is time to wind down at night. There's time in the morning. There is a little 5-minute pockets throughout your day that can add up to a full hour. So I will never allow myself to go through a full from morning to nighttime without some sort of morning routine, a walk to get coffee while listening to a podcast, cooking while being off my phone. I will never allow myself to go through an entire day working without having any time for just me. Because when I don't do that and all I'm thinking about and giving my energy to is work and other people, it always leads to burnout every single time, which ultimately is not helping me accomplish my goals and makes me feel like absolute. So the way that I like to do this is find little pockets throughout my day so that the entire day doesn't feel like work. Morning, of course, I have my morning routine. I love Kundalini breath work. I have a whole podcast episode on it, and I will be uploading a video on how I've done Kundalini breath work for 6 months and how it has changed my life, but also just sitting down watching YouTube videos while drinking my coffee, going for a walk, listening to a podcast, really just having time in the morning to slow down and not go right into work. Anything I do in the morning that's just for enjoyment, for my mental health, or literally just for fun, like watching YouTube videos, so I don't feel like my entire day was engulfed by work. And then when I was working full time, if I had, one meeting at 1 and another meeting at 3, between 2 and 3, I would find 15 minutes to go for a walk. You have Slack on your phone. If something's urgent, you have email on your phone, but just go for a walk, listen to a podcast, get some fresh air, or go make a second coffee, make lunch, and just like watch a show while you're eating lunch without working and shoveling food down your mouth. Just finding little things throughout the day. Call a parent, call a friend for 10 minutes for a break in your day, and then winding down at night. Changing your perspective from cooking is like a chore to cooking is time that I'm not on my phone and can really relax and just like be focused on a task at hand and let go of the rest of the day. That's really helped me. Stretching at night, like there are so many things that we can do. Finding little pockets throughout your day, it just makes everything else more sustainable. And then when you jump back into work, you have a new focus, you feel energized, you're not feeling like your whole time and energy is being sucked by other things, but you're also giving time to yourself, and it just makes you a happier person. So I will recommend a podcast episode by Jay Shetty. I will link it down below. It's a 25-minute episode about taking breaks throughout your day, throughout your week, throughout the year to avoid burnout. Number 2 is owning your schedule. Even if you are an employee, even if you're an assistant and you're like the lowest one in the hierarchy at your big corporate job, you own your schedule, you own your calendar. Honor your right to reschedule something, of course, within reason. If it's something that's gonna drain your energy too much that day, if you're not feeling it, if you're sick, if you just need a break and you feel like you can't give your 100% energy to it, if it's something that you can reschedule rather than like a big client meeting with 20 people, if it's like a one-on-one meeting, you can reschedule. If it's too much for you today, if you have 20 meetings back to back, you can even be honest about that and be like, I have not had a minute to eat or pee today. Can we please reschedule this to tomorrow? And if it's a side hustle thing, or if it's something that you don't have like a million managers above you, like a client meeting, you can totally be honest. It's really empowering. And then number 3 3 actually goes right off of owning your schedule, which is if you have a shared Outlook calendar and people are scheduling meetings based on your shared calendar or Google Calendar, whatever it is, if you have a shared calendar and people are scheduling meetings that way and looking at when you're busy, if you have like 10 meetings in a row, or if there's just one time in the day where you're always gonna take a lunch break and you just like non-negotiable, you need to take a break midday, go get your second coffee, whatever it is, block out that time. No one sees what that is. They assume it's a meeting, and who cares what it is? It's your calendar. You can say you're busy, even if it's just 30 minutes to take a break, to go for a walk, or if it's just like you have so many meetings, you gotta get some work done at some point. Block off your own calendar. It's your calendar. And you can always say, you know, if people are having trouble scheduling, be like, oh, my 10:30 is movable, by the way, and you can always move it around, but feel empowered to really take control of your calendar and put things in there that might not even be legit, just to preserve your own energy. Whether it's needing an hour to focus, or needing an hour to yourself, or needing an hour to be so creative, heads down, everyone else thinks you're in a call, but you can like go get your creative juices flowing, whether it's going for a walk or just brainstorming or doing art, whatever it may be, that could be your time to do it. Number 4 is find your hobbies. This is so important. Hobbies is a strong word. It doesn't have to be like something that you pick up in your spare time and you're an expert at. It doesn't have to be a sport or an art, but find what lights you up. It could literally be, my best friend loves walking. Period. Dot. She just loves leaving the apartment, going for a walk. I mean, of course she loves hiking, but we're in the city, so she just loves walking. Anywhere we go, she wants to walk, and that's her thing. Yours could be talking. Yours could literally be like, I love calling my friends. Like, that can be a hobby. Whatever lights you up. I always say, take out a pen and paper, even if you don't journal, and journal on this prompt. Answer, what lights me up? When do I feel my best? And try to do more of that. You cannot work 24/7, and even if it's just doing that on the weekend, it's just being sure to fit that in and to fit in the joys of life, so that you don't feel like you're living, breathing your work, so that it's more sustainable and it's more exciting when you are working. You could be in a season of life where work is absolutely priority, but to avoid burnout, you have to sprinkle in everything that lights you up, anything that lights you up, and try to do it at least 5 minutes a day, or if it's like a longer form hobby, like my boyfriend loves to play ice hockey, at least once a week at night, literally at 10 p.m. at night, you just find the time. So whatever fills you up, make sure you're doing it for at least 5 minutes a day. Next is a big one, especially if you're not into exercise or anything like that. It's just movement, moving your body. Hear me out, I get it if you're not into exercise and you're like, oh, I was really hoping she wouldn't say that. It's not about fitness. My ideas only flow through me when I move. If I'm sitting on my couch all day and night, new ideas aren't gonna come to me. New ideas come to me when I go for a walk and I'm listening to a podcast and energy's flowing, or I'm doing yoga or Pilates, or just stretching, or just walking to get a coffee. Like, the energy physically and your blood starts flowing and things start moving. When you're stagnant and all you're doing is working on your couch or working at your desk 24/7, new ideas are not gonna come. You have to move. And not to mention, it's just healthy for you. Your lifestyle is never going to be sustainable unless you're at least getting some movement and getting your blood flowing, or you're just gonna sink into a dark, deep hole, which we've all been there. But try to prioritize it, even if it's stretching while you're on a Zoom meeting. Next is, I know I mentioned this briefly before, but a morning routine. And it's not even a morning routine. It doesn't have to be the same thing every day. What I really mean is morning rituals. It can be sitting and just taking the time in the morning off your email to, like I said, I watch YouTube and I drink my coffee. It can be calling your long distance boyfriend. Like, just taking the time in the morning to not be rushing to jump into work. Take an hour to just ease into your day. It sets the entire tone for your day, because then once you get to work, you're just like, you don't feel as resentful or like chaotic energy, because you relaxed for an hour in the morning, you eased into your day, you did things that make you feel good. It's so much easier to get burnt out when you wake up, work, and then you work till 2 a.m. and then you go to bed. Like, you need some separation, which is much harder while we're working from home if you still are, but you gotta create the separation for yourself. Create a spot in your room that is completely separate for work, so that at the end of work, you can turn your computer off, go to the couch, and that's your body and mind knows, like, oh, this is time to unwind. And then my biggest pro tip is, don't watch TV in bed. Only watch, if your living situation allows for it, try to only watch TV. Even if you have a roommate and you want to watch in your room, like, literally put a blanket on the floor and like make it comfy on the floor. If you have your bed just for sleep, that is going to allow you to get the best sleep, because your mind and body knows when you get into bed that it's time for bed. There's no mixed signals, there's no TV, there's no TikTok. I get having those habits habits or wanting to watch TV before bed, just do it not in bed. And then you wash up and you get in bed and your mind and body knows it's time for sleep. This has changed my sleep so much. I fall asleep 1,000,000 times quicker than when I used to watch TV in bed. That's just another tip. Sleep. Prioritize sleep. There is another way to productivity, success, quote unquote, making it in whatever industry or field you're in without having to work until 2 a.m. Because guess what? When you do that like Gary Vee method of working all day, all night, when do you have the energy to like recharge, to then put your best foot forward and give your best work and your best ideas? You don't. There's a direct correlation between stress levels and sleep, between creativity and sleep. Like there are actual statistics, actual studies. You need sleep to show up as your most creative, your most analytical, your sharpest, most energized, inspired self. So prioritize sleep, and I have a whole video on how to get the best sleep of your life. That TV tip was just one. I have a whole video. I'll link it up here and down below. And then lastly is just more specifically like using systems to help you stay organized, to be productive and get things done efficiently so that you do have the time to wind down and relax. And these systems will also allow you to be so organized that if you need more time for something because you don't have the energy, you can see things visually and move them around. So for that, I like to do Google Calendar. I like Google Calendar for a few reasons, one being the color coding. So if you are someone like me who has several different side hustles, several different part-time jobs, different social media platforms, like the color coding saves my life. I put when I'm filming in blue, I put when I'm uploading a podcast or anything podcast related in pink. When I do the front desk at Rumble in purple, I put my PR meetings in green. I need to visually see the separation and know that everything's getting done. It just allows me to stay on top of things, which allows me to not get burnt out because I feel calm knowing it's all on there, it's all organized, and that's something that helps me. That might not help you. My friend Natalie Barbu, who's here on YouTube, I'm sure you know her. She says that putting every single thing on her calendar stresses her out. She has the big things on there, but she doesn't like having a million small things. I personally like having everything on there because if I don't, I end up writing a million things down and being super chaotic, which burns me out. So I like to have it all on the calendar. And then all of my deadlines are on there so I can hold myself accountable, stay up to date on things, and I can move things around, which helps me preserve my energy because when it's written, it all feels so set in stone and just like chaotic. But when it's in a Google Calendar and it says like upload vlog today, let's say I had upload vlog, and I'm like, shit, I don't have the time or energy to upload a vlog today. I can easily move it tomorrow without the insane anxiety of not meeting my goals. And it still might be there, but it really does help me preserve my energy knowing that it's just a quick little move. It just like makes things mentally feel easier on me personally. And I always put in breaks in the day in my calendar. So you'll literally see in my calendar like 20 minutes for Pilates, 20 minutes to go walk, 20 minutes to clean the apartment. Like it'll all be in there for me because if I don't have that there, then I'm so focused on the big things and the work things that I forget. So getting that reminder on my Google Calendar saying like go for a walk and it says for 10 minutes and I see visually that it does fit in my calendar. I planned it in advance, like it's there, no excuses. It's just like a nice reminder and I'm like, oh yeah, I need to go do that. I need to take a minute for myself. This also helps with time batching. I will do a whole nother video on time batching. I think this is a great way to stay productive and avoid burnout. For example, today is a Wednesday and I don't have a Rumble shift today. I just have my PR work. So today was my content day. This is my second video I'm filming today. I'm going to be filming 3 videos today. I only have to put on makeup and get all dressed up and have this mindset of filming and being on it today, rather than that chaotic, energy sucking thing of filming a million times throughout the week. That doesn't work for me. So knowing that I'm batching, doing all my content in a day, and then I have plenty of content to edit over the next week, that preserves my energy and avoids burnout, but I'm still super productive and I have videos filmed and ready to go. And lastly, for systems is for brainstorming and coming up with ideas for your creative jobs or more side hustle jobs. I use Evernote. So I love Evernote because I can have it on my phone, my computer, my iPad. I can browse the web and type in Evernote, so I have my notes everywhere I go. And it's kind of like more like a Word document than the note section in your iPhone. So I really feel like I can have like a whole outline there. So I have a podcast folder where every single time I record a podcast, I have my outline with them. So another thing might be I come up with a video idea. So I'll be on the go, on the train, a video idea comes to my mind. I can access Evernote in my phone. And then when I go home to look at my video ideas, when I'm planning my content calendar, I go to Evernote on my computer and I can see all of my ideas there. So So the best part about it is that it's really, you know, on all of your platforms, but it's more like a Word document than, you know, the notes section that's on all your platforms. So a lot of the times I will outline videos like this on my computer in Evernote. So you can see I also have a folder for YouTube and all of my outlines there. And I'll be in the car and I'll like drop down some notes while I'm in the car. So that's the best part about it. I just like having everything in there so that I don't feel like I need to be creative every single day. It's like when I feel creative or when I did have questions for that person, it's all in there in Evernote. So I don't have this like intense pressure to be on it at all times. I just am able to drop things in wherever I am when I am feeling on it and creative. So there's less pressure and you preserve your energy. Comment down below your favorite tips for staying productive while avoiding burnout. Let me know below what lights you up. I will comment it down below. I would love to know. Please give this video a thumbs up if you're enjoying it. Don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss any of my videos and we can keep hanging out. And of course, it helps me out. Stay healthy and wear a mask. Mwah.